A good ball game. Clearly, Flynn is a very talented older pitcher. Like, he commands at least two secondary pitches, and there might have been a third in there at times. And that fastball life is good, and he's competitive and tough to run on, and he did a really good job. And so did the guy that threw the last two innings. I mean, those are talented arms, and they made the most of the misfires we had in the third inning. Like, Jamie was as good as you've seen him, and then you're going to walk some guys. The walk to lead off the third, I mean, it's a competitive at bat and a good. Like, if you walk somebody, that's the walk you want. But when you lead off an inning against a team that's that experienced, like, you're setting yourself up for issues. But you know, if we can catch that ball in right field, to be honest, it's probably a double play because the runner at first was so out of position, and we didn't. And that opened it up, and then the other one kind of got by us into the corner too and right. And those moments in games of this caliber with the kind of arms that both teams are running out there, like, that was the difference in it. And it's tough. And you know, the defensive efficiency backs up the pitching, and the pitching execution makes defense easier. And I thought we pitched it okay tonight, you know. But that one spurt there where you give a really good team extra chances, I mean, that's what got us. Kirkland was just fine, and every time he goes out there, he seems to grasp a little bit more about himself. For him, this is about him learning himself and his capabilities, and he's gotten better. So that's in a tough evening. I mean, that was probably the bright spot there.
You talked about how good Flynn was for them. Did you feel like the approach was what you guys wanted?
Pitch recognition's tough, and there have been some games at night here going all the way back to last year at Notre Dame. Like, it just seems like the recognition maybe at night for some reason is just difficult. Like, it's hard. They could not decipher the spin on the slider. Just, it was tough, you know. And he backed that up with a good climbing fastball that we chased up out of the zone. So it's the recognition. Like, and they knew, like, he didn't throw fastballs in the inside half of the plate, the righties, the whole night. The guys knew it. They were trying to cover and sit away, but the inability to recognize what it is hard. Even if you try to sit on it, there wasn't a lot for them to decode as they were tracking it. And that is why you see some of the swings that you see, and you saw their guys maybe off Kirkland, some of the really good breaking balls that were down, that were way out in front of the plate. It's a pitch recognition. Like, they had the right approach and idea, but you know, the recognition of it and seeing it properly and deciphering and decoding mid-pitch is the essence of hitting at the highest levels, and that's what those good secondary pitches can make difficult.
How pleased have you been with the extended outings from Doug? I think this is the second time in the last couple of weeks he's kept you guys in a game 3 or 4 innings out of the pen.
Well, it's great, and it was a starting at ground zero with him, and he was tender in the preseason. So when we got to the season, it was essentially kind of a minimal preseason experience for him. So it's a power arm, and I'll be honest with you, Brett, I think it's just going to continue to trend upwards. And he's still very new at this, very, very new with the pitching. So there's a bright outlook for him on the mound in any role. Like, once you get the pitch count where it is, like, I mean, he's a candidate to do more than just 1 inning, 2 inning little stints like you saw today. We can go any direction with him. And he threw some good changeups today, which is good. For the first time, we saw that really in play. He's got it, but today against Leary, I think he threw two, and one was really, really good. So happy for him.
Pick off by Army in the 8th. I know you guys obviously work on that stuff a lot, but for it to be executed in a moment like that late in the game, just how good was that to see for you?
It's great. You know, that's one of those things that we have in our back pocket for moments that we need it, and there's certain things we're looking for to use some of those plays, and that was exactly the right time. And I'm glad the review, you know, it looked like he was out. I'm glad the review worked in our favor. But Army's athletic, wiry athletic guy, so you feel good about some of the off-script plays that we have when a guy like that's out there.
You guys weren't able to get Wyatt out there today. Just, you know, what you'll be able to do with them going forward?
I haven't. He visited today with training staff, medical staff, just to make sure he's okay, and he feels pretty good. So we haven't gotten that far. He threw right before the game, so we'll go decide how to handle that for him. And I know the start last week was probably the first time he's done that in a while, and I think just bouncing back from that is unique. And it was an intense game, like with what was going on that day, and he's going to be fine. It's just we wanted to be safe with him today.